corner where the treats at.
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you landed here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We about to.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys in the show, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the warfare.
This episode of Chief Concerns is brought to you by betonline.ag. Marcus Dash here, and ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, this is the best time of the year. Our Chiefs may not be playing right now, but you got NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs, even though my Sixers are unfortunately out, but still a lot of stuff to be bet on. BetOnline is your number one source for all your summer sports this season, from MLB, golf, NBA, and NHL playoffs. All the latest stats, news, and scores are available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds, lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Remember, bet online where the game starts. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Monday Morning Tight End. I'm Marcus Dash, and our guy JD will be joining us shortly. Memorial Day weekend, you know, everyone's got stuff going on, and I think JD's joining us right now. So here we go. There he is. There's the man.
Hey. What's going on? Testing. What's going on, brother?
I'm good, brother. How are you, man?
Oh, man, just coming here, had a chance to come just wash my face. You know, just coming from, that's why we're a little bit behind. I was telling Marcus that I had lost track of time. I was actually out at the cemetery, planting some flowers and, remembering all the ones that came before me, during this time. So, happy Memorial Day to everybody out here, where we have a chance to actually celebrate and remember the ones, like I said, that had paid the price, have already gone before us, but have a chance to kind of pay homage to them. And so, beautiful weekend.
Yes, sir. Yep, the Chief Concerns family is grateful for all the tremendous actions and sacrifices made for us to have the opportunity to enjoy our freedom in this country, and not only the fallen soldiers and the living soldiers, but the families as well. Who
Absolutely.
So so definitely I want to commemorate all those in uniform for us to be able to have this show, be able to play football, talk about the game we love, do all those things that we can do in this country. So 100% JD.
Amen. No doubt about it, man. My dad, he fought in 2 wars. I have, brothers at my dad, brothers military, so uncles and whatnot. So I had obviously some flags and stuff that I put on their grave sites, just kind of, one of those things, man, that just kind of really kind of chokes you up to think about, the sacrifices that people made, kind of during that time. But yeah, man, this is without a doubt a privilege that we have just to be able to do what we do. So we don't want to forget them at all, and give all the respect, glory to all those that's due to them. But to everybody out here, Lewis Cutright, Charles Driver, Ghost Hunter, 1974, who else? Wendy, who else is out here? Who's on here? Kathy Welch, About Time. What's up, everybody? The Chief Concerns family. Glad y'all came to join us on Memorial weekend, Memorial Day. I'm the Brown. What's going down? So we'll get to it. Talk about a few things going on out there, man. Charles Jefferson's barbecue smells in the air. So I'm gonna get on. I'm gonna do some legs after the show to put on the grill. Yeah. So we had a nice little meal last night. A little something early today, but that was like earlier today, man. And I'm hungry. I am absolutely hungry. So I usually eat late at night anyway. I don't know about you all, but I'm a late eater. That's what I am. So are you one of those, Marcus? You eat late at night, or do you eat pretty early?
Yeah, it depends. So I have basketball Tuesdays and Thursday nights, and that's usually at 9. I don't like having food in my stomach when I do any exercise, so I'll eat when I come back, and I'm up till about 2 or 3, so I can digest the food and all that. So yeah, I'm a late eater as well, JD. So you and I, being the youngest, I don't know if we just connect on everything, but that's so the coincidences will have it. You and I have mounting up all these similar things.
Oh yeah. What's going on, Lou? 8-2. What's up, Demonte Green Beans? Good to see y'all. Joshua Bundy, what up, fam? What's going on? Lewis said I usually eat around about 5 p.m. for my medicine. I got you. Okay. And so I do a little bit of like the intermittent fasting. Sometimes I don't eat until about 5, like my first meal. I have something. And that's usually when I hold off. Because sometimes, you know me, I'm almost like a vampire. I don't go to bed till late. So for me, I don't do the breakfast thing unless I treat myself. Now, sometimes, like, me and my daughter went out for breakfast the other day. I say breakfast, but it was like brunch. I had me like some French toast. I love French toast. my spot, man. My spot that I love that I haven't really found anything really bad on the menu. Is First Watch. You go to First Watch?
It's always packed, so I haven't gone to First Watch because it was across the street from where I went to high school. So I went one time before the school day started. With my girlfriend in high school. I haven't been back since. That was like 2011. I haven't been. My girlfriend and Laura and I tried to go there a couple weeks back.
Yeah,
you couldn't get any reservation. There was packed. I mean, so we were like, all right, let's go to IHOP.
Man, you gotta go. You gotta get that, man. You have got to get that. I'm telling you, First Watch has some absolutely delicious meals, and I'm a guy. I love omelets.
Me
so
too.
They would do one like triathlete. They have a veggie one that I love. My lady usually gets like the avocado toast. But the French toast to me, if I had one meal, how everybody asks you, said, if you only had one meal to eat, what would that meal be? For me, without a doubt, 100% fact, I had to have me French toast if I could do anything.
That's your number one meal, like ever.
Yeah, I mean, that's my treat. If I'm sitting there saying, "Daggone, what would I not get tired of?" French toast would probably be it.
Wow,
be it.
Interesting. Lewis never been to IHOP. Wow, I mean, that's it. You got to go to IHOP. I think IHOP is. I think I had a conversation there with my buddies. The group message chain was someone who went to Cracker Barrel, and there was like a whole debate about Cracker Barrel or IHOP. Obviously, you could get a little more. There's more things at Cracker Barrel that isn't on the IHOP menu, a little different. But I gotta say, Cracker Barrel is the only time I'll eat Cracker Barrel is if it's on like a road trip or something like that. That's the only time I'll stop and get Cracker Barrel. It's on a road trip that's like 4+ hour drive. You see a Cracker Barrel on the side of the road, get off the highway, take that exit, go get your Cracker Barrel. But IHOP's a staple. IHOP's a staple.
Yeah, I love it too. Pancakes. I'm the Brown said pancakes. Oxtails from Mill. Demonte Green. Come on, man. Oxtails. Yo, you know how hard it is to get oxtails here. There's a spot here. Now, I love me some oxtails. Biscuits and gravy. Yes, sir.
Can't go wrong with that either.
Yeah. Cracker Barrel can't go wrong with that either. Man, look, I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. I told you I'm hungry already, man. I know we got y'all talking about food and whatnot, and now we see a couple of questions, everybody coming in. But Lewis, get to IHOP, man. You'll find something on the menu. They got a very extensive menu. You'll find something on there for sure.
They even have protein pancakes now on the IHOP menu. Which
do they?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're expanding their game a little bit.
Yeah.
So obviously with our Monday show, so what I want to do for the next 3 Monday shows, we've been getting a lot of questions on our videos about asking questions about our division rivals, Chargers, Broncos, and Raiders. So at the beginning of the offseason, when I kind of broke down, our losses at each position, for the next 3 Monday shows, we're going to kind of break down our other teams in the division. So next week we'll do a Raiders Monday show where we kind of talk about who they lost, who their new guys are, to be aware of as we play them 2 times a year. And then the following week we'll do Chargers, and the following week after that we'll do the Broncos. But JD, I wanted to talk to you about this video that I saw about our guy Rashee Rice, that kind of broke the news yesterday on Instagram of him doing work in the offseason. It's something you and I have talked about, like kind of keep your head down, just kind of lock in and just hone in on your craft. And he's been working out with a renowned receiver coach, Delphonte Diamond, who works with CeeDee Lamb. Robert Woods is also another guy he's worked with. Tank Dell. So he's working with a premier guy in Dallas, in Delvonte Diamond. But this is the video we're going to watch, and I want to see what you guys say about Rashee Rice kind of honing in on the second half of the offseason here.
In control, that's it. I like it. Smooth. Yes, go. Over there, it's over. Yep. I like it. Yeah. Oh, I like that one, boy. I like that one.
Muscle memory, baby. This shit getting slight. Couldn't wait to get back out here.
So JD, the thing I love about that video, obviously he's working, he's doing his thing. He's looking more polished than he did last year at this time. But talking about the last clip there, he says, I couldn't wait to get back out here. Obviously, it's like sometimes people go to the weight room to release their stresses or whatever. Some guys go to the football field, catch balls, do work to kind of hone in on whatever it is to get your mind off other stuff. And it seems like that's what he's doing post. What that whole the driving accident, the speeding accident he had a few months back. So what do you make of him honing in and also being with other guys like CeeDee Lamb, like Tank Dell, like Robert Woods? What do you make of all that?
You know what I think is very important, especially with the things he's gone through. This is something that he could definitely focus on. Just give, like I said, some normalcy. A lot of it because his life has been in turmoil for the past few months, right? One thing after another, and it's like he's not going to be able to get a break. And I believe that his solace lies on the football field, catching balls, working out, all those different things. And like you said, man, those things are very therapeutic. It is a distraction and much needed distraction, but also too, it's a great focus for him to appreciate something that he can see in his mind that can necessarily be gone. And I think, if anything, hopefully he understands how much of a privilege it is to be able to play in the NFL. Like everybody doesn't get that type of opportunity to do what he's able to do and get paid for it and get paid well for what he's been able to do. He's had some very, success early, right? And so, Super Bowl winner, leads the team, wide receiver in receptions. He's almost a budding star, if you will, right? And now, because of the things that he's been going through, everything was topsy-turvy. It's topsy-turvy for him. So I do think for him, this is his sweet spot. He loves being here. This is his happy place, right? And so, how do you Happy Gilmore, he's find your happy place. Mm-hmm. This is a happy place for him. And it's perfect because not only he's out there training, but you said also too, CeeDee Lamb and all these other guys out there training as well. But he can get a lot of information from those guys too. Hopefully these guys are trying to keep him on the path. Like, hey man, look, you too much of a star. Someone with your career being derailed the way that it is, you got too much, man, that you could lose. So, don't do anything stupid. Come out here, keep working on us, man. Like you said, down here in the corner, keep grinding. It's a grind thing right here. And so as long as he's concentrating on those things and putting his time and his effort into that of getting better, that's what I want to be able to see more so than anything else. So
what I also love is because you and I have talked about bringing in a veteran receiver, and there's a question here about veterans receivers. We'll get to that, but like if we're not going to have veteran receivers on the team, at least he's going to be working out with these types of guys in the offseason, right? So at least he's working out with, CeeDee Lamb, Robert Woods. Both those guys have, have been around for a while. At least Robert Woods has been around for a while. CeeDee Lamb, he's been a fixture of the Dallas Cowboys for a long time. So, he's been in the spotlight, and now he's been in the league for a good amount of time. And also, too, he's working out with Keon Coleman, Xavier Legette. So all these guys, you got old and young guys who are there together. And I think that's a good thing, just to be around that atmosphere of guys who are working their butts off, guys who are working to be on the top of their game still. And I think that's just it's like you said, it's like a solace to be there.
Yeah. So, that's legit guys. So like you said, old and young. And that's a lot of wealth. That's a wealth of knowledge being passed along. But also too, you could compare yourself to other guys, what all they're doing and how they're working. And so the whole thing is like, hey man, when you're sleeping, other guys out here working. Okay. So what it is that you're doing with your time. My thing is, this is where he needs to be. He needs to be there, away from the facility, away from the Chiefs, constantly have his mind on being a professional, taking care of all this business you need to take care of. And so sometimes these things, man, you can get caught up in the glitz and the glamour sometimes because, and here's the reality. You can get so much success so fast, okay, that you don't know what to do with it. Sometimes you don't know what to handle. And so it's just like, hey, I'm going to keep, doing what I'm doing. And I'm going to keep going around like I'm the same guy, and you're not. Things have changed. Dramatically, they've changed. So now this is no doubt about it, something about appreciation. About time that he's still plenty young enough to put this mess in the review. No question about it. And I think sometimes when you see things that you love that can be gone, right? Whether it be a job, your profession, people, right? We talking about Memorial Day, things in your life. You tend to try to at least take some type of assessment, some stock on how much these things mean to you, okay? And maybe you have to rethink what you've been thinking about, how you've been looking at everybody or your job. You could be fussing about it. Next thing you know, you're not appreciating it the way you should. And so that's a very meaningful thing for him to do. And I'll tell you this, I'll give you a little bit, some of my history. When I was in Philly, when you first get in, you don't quite know what the business is about. You just don't. You don't really know what you're getting into. People can tell you what you're getting into, but you got to actually experience and live it to actually know. And so he's done that. I didn't really, I want to say I took maybe my time up in Philly for granted as well. Not that I didn't work hard, not that I had my mind on it, but I seen where the grind was, and I seen how bad, like the business part of it, of like how you had to be a professional, how things have changed from college to the NFL. And I was in that position almost losing it all. So, and it was almost until it was taken away from me that I had to appreciate it. And I was just like, man, God, if I get another chance and a shot at this, I will not take not one snap, not one practice, not one rep for granted. I'm going to give the game everything that I got. That's what I'm going to do. And so sometimes it takes experiences like this. Sometimes it takes something detrimental in your life to flash before your eyes that everything is gone. And so it happened to me. Rasheed Rice happened to him. And I think he has a newfound appreciation for his profession. Okay. And the people around him as well. So that's a good thing to have, man. You got to have that. You have to have it. Sometimes people got to go through these lessons. It's part of life. Part of life.
Sometimes you need a scare, to show what you have, and it's like, okay, like, I need to reassess what I'm doing here, and you're getting this kind of like, you got to this traffic racing accident, no one died. To my knowledge, I don't know if anyone was seriously hurt, but people were taken to the hospital. So it's like, man, like you in your mind, I had one time I was speeding when I was in high school. I was speeding and I turned the corner real fast, and there's somebody walking their dog, and like by miracle of God, I turned the steering wheel to the right. I was like, oh shoot, like I almost ran that person over. And like in my head, I'm like, for weeks after that, even sometimes I still think about like, man, what would happen if that person was there? I would run over someone's dog, like I could have gone to jail, like things like that. And it's like you need those like kind of the close moments to be like, okay, you're not going to speed in the neighborhood. You're gonna go the speed limit. You need kind of that little wake and that snap. Hopefully this is it for him. And I mean, he's looking great. I mean, based on what you saw from him, he's looking like polished, right?
He does. He looks good. And I think he got a lot of experience last year of things, how he can get better, what he can do to get open. Maybe his quickness and suddenness coming, into a route, which I think he was learning, he was getting down to. Because when he got the ball in his hand, we seen how explosive he was. I was actually shocked how fast he gets up the field once he gets the football. I was amazed at that. I didn't really know he had that about him. Sometime in college, you don't really get to see it, because, you got some guys, like I said, I always, they're going on for different things. Okay. Right. So you don't have to worry about that. But these guys in the NFL, these guys are trying to rip your head off. And so he showed getting the ball, get up the field, make some people miss, breaking some tackles. Also, too, he had to hold on to the football. He started getting better toward the end of the season, holding on to the ball, because that was really another thing that he was really bad at. He fumbled and I was just like, hey, he's fumbled a little bit too much. So, man, this is good for him. He's learning. This is
And then last night at the Dallas Mavericks game, sideline, courtside was Hollywood next to Kelce and Mahomes. And then behind the hoop, because I looked at Rashee Rice's his Instagram story, behind the hoop, Rashee Rice was like second row back there. I don't know why he wasn't able to get courtside with the fellas, with Kelce, Mahomes, and Hollywood, but he was at the game like second row behind the hoop. So they definitely probably came together at least.
Yeah, sometimes you got to pay for those tickets. Right?
Yeah.
Rice, he's got to shell out some money other places right now.
It's true.
Okay, so you don't want to be, hey, what he had to pay, he might have to be up in the rafters somewhere, standing up, clapping from the second floor. But I'm sure, those courtside seats, when you talking about here, right? Shoot, I know they hitting for a grip.
Playoff game too. Ooh.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Shoot, front and center. I can imagine what they cost right now. So ridiculous, probably not worth it. But hey, you got it. Go ahead and get it, right?
Yeah, yes, sir. But I do gotta say, on the fact that Hollywood, Kelce, and Mahomes are hanging out with each other. We'll get to this more on Thursday or Wednesday. But I never thought we'd have the big three again. We had Hill, Kelce, and Mahomes. And I'm not saying Hollywood's going to give us Hill production, but I'm a huge Hollywood guy, and I could see, Hollywood exploding with this offense, and that's a big three we haven't had in a few years, and we could have that again with Hollywood giving us some Tyreek Hill type, play on offense. I'm not saying Tyreek Hill, but giving us some kind of that explosion factor we haven't had in a few years. So I'm very excited.
Me too, no question about it. I mean, he's going to be good for us, and him hanging out with those two guys. So, hey, that's a match made in heaven right there, man. That's the new three amigos on offense. Okay, so
big three's back.
Big three's back, and so I think, and here's because I hear this in the chat. And people are asking. Matter of fact, Austin was asking, "Hey, fellas, do you think we should trade for Metcalf or sign Thomas or sign Howard?" So, if Hollywood Brown is the breakout, like we think he can be, I think you keep a guy like Hollywood Brown here. Now, I think the question is, we don't quite know what the room is going to look like wide receiver wise. Who do we get? Do we go get a DK Metcalf? Or do we hold off and say, hey, maybe Hollywood Brown's going to be the guy, right? We got Rasheed Rice. We don't know when all the suspension, all that's going to happen. We don't know how many games is going to be out. Could be half the season, could be an entire year. We don't quite know. Xavier Worthy, rookie. Sure, he's going to come in. He's going to get a lot of passes thrown his way. We're going to utilize him as much as possible. The other question goes into everybody else that we have there, right? Can we still go into the season with a Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy and the other guys we have on our team? Kadarius Toney, if he's still there, we don't know if he's still going to be there or not, right? We got to still watch the June the 1st, what that's going to look like. Or Sky Moore, okay? We got Justin Watson, we got Justin Ross. Those are questions. Do we sign a veteran guy, like you're saying, for minimum money? I think we should, okay? I don't know if we put all our money and eggs in the basket on the DK Metcalf. I'm off of that boat, to be honest with you. All right. I think DK Metcalf is a great receiver, but he's good where he's at. Or if somebody else picks him up, that's fine. All right. And just for the simple fact of what our system demands of guys, okay, what we look for in throwing. So can we get somebody else out of here, like we've been talking about Renfro, or like you said, Michael Thomas or somebody else? Maybe June the 1st. Robert Woods.
I was looking at the Bleacher Report when that clip posted on the Bleacher Report channel. Someone was like Robert Woods. I didn't even know that guy was still around. And then and then somebody else was a big fan of Robert Woods, saying we need a nice possession guy in the in between the hashes. And Robert Woods can provide that if he plays, but so the health is a big factor with him.
Yeah. That's a big question as far as him staying healthy. So, but I do like it, and that's what I said. I like Hollywood Brown. Hope he plays well. Hope he gets over 100 balls this year and just blows it out the water. And we say, hey, man, we got our guy. Why go somewhere else? Like, you build rapport here. You're going out with the guys. I think he's home. I don't want Hollywood Brown to go anywhere else, to be honest with you, right? We got two speedsters that will absolute torch defenses. Yep. We'll put guys in turmoil as far as, secondary. And Rasheed Rice, too? Come on. Those three, that's all you need. That's it. That's all you need, man. And you got enough. So
I agree with you, JD. I was thinking about this like 2 weeks ago when I heard the DK Metcalf stuff. People, a lot of Chief content creators were talking about DK Metcalf. We even brought it up on Bleacher Report. But the fact that we have a guy who's coming in on a 1-year prove-it deal, and throughout his entire career, it's pretty much either ankle injuries, some toe injuries, but kind of like nagging type injuries. If he can put together with this offense, an offense that can finally utilize his strengths that haven't really been able to be showcased in the NFL career so far, if he can produce the way he was supposed to produce coming out of college with Andy and the best play designer to work with Hollywood Brown, if he shows out this year, you don't waste that money bringing another guy in. You keep him here. He proved success in our offense. We need a guy like that. We haven't had that type of skill set in a long time. And we talked about it too with Xavier Worthy. Xavier Worthy, yes, he's a fast guy. Yeah, we talked about it. Not a vertical guy. He wasn't used vertically 10 times all year last year as far as the route runs. Yeah. He's gonna be more of a quick guy. Hollywood Brown's gonna be the guy to stretch the defense where he has Xavier Worthy kind of working quick screens, bubbles, and just kind of like being that that not taking the top off the defenses or he can, but I think Hollywood's going to be the one to do that. And obviously this offense has been lacking that for the last few years. And you have a guy, and if everything Mahomes is saying about Hollywood Brown's like, keep him, don't bring anybody else. You have Rice for a full season next year. You have Xavier Worthy second year in, and you have Hollywood Brown second year in the system. So I agree. I hope we don't spend that money anywhere else as another receiver, like a DK Metcalf type, or I think even Justin Jefferson. Someone brought that up. But obviously I love Justin Jefferson. That's not going to happen. Realistically.
No. First, shout out to Teron Young jumping on here. He got 5 minutes in to come see us before we get on the plane, my man. Hey, have a very good flight heading home, wherever you're heading to, brother. Had to shout out him real quick. Look, I think that Xavier Worthy has that ability. We've seen him stretch the defense though too. Okay, and so he says he loves seeing what Deshaun Jackson was able to do with Philly. And I think Andy was like, hey, you can do those things. We can stretch the field with Xavier Worthy. That's the thing. That's the beauty of it. Because how do you play him? We hit you with a couple of wide receiver screens, a couple of quick hitches, a couple of slants, and then we take it over the top, right? Take the top off the defense. And both of those guys can do that. That's why I love what we have right now. And I think we don't need to downplay it because we got those guys in the building. We do got those guys in the building. And we'll hold it. Those guys will hold it down until Xavier Worthy gets back. Kathy Welch says some beast modes tight ends. We got tight ends too that can do the same thing. We got that. Travis Kelce, Noah Gray, Irv Smith, Wiley. Come on, man. We got some guys. We do. I love where we're at. Let me put it that way. I love where we're at. Do we add on to it? Sure, you can add on to the room. Okay. If there's some questions there right now with KT, you don't quite know where that's going to go. If you want to address that, by all means, go ahead and do that. By all means, go ahead and do it. But my thing is, I like where our room is at the moment. So
100%. If we can't bring just a veteran guy for a 1-year fill to kind of, get the younger guys up to speed, I'd love that. But yeah, as far as making a big splash, Joshua Bundy here, do we need to sign a receiver? I've heard rumors of Justin Jefferson. He's about to get the bag. Could we pull it off? I don't think it's going to happen. We let Tyreek Hill walk when he wanted the bag, and he was a perfect match made in heaven for this offense, and we let that go. I don't think we're going to break the bank on him. And part of the reason with the appeal with DK Metcalf is the next 2 years we wouldn't even be on the hook for all that. It would be on the hook for 18 million, 16 million over the next 2 years or something like that. That would Jefferson would be great, and I'd love that, but that's not happening. But yes, what you said, JD, veteran receiver on a 1-year deal, yeah, that's fine. But overall, I like allotting that money to potential Hollywood Brown next offseason when he's a free agent, and he proved 1 year in this offense and he looked really good. So that's what I think we need to do.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Duncan Pond, we talked about it. Yeah, Hollywood Brown at the game last night. It was good to see him out there all together.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a beautiful sight, man. Guys are kicking it. And during this all season, man, that's what you love doing is going, kicking that with your guys, man. Like now, basketball tournaments, hanging out. Sure, we used to go out with the wifeys and all of them. We used to go down. Miami was talking about it the other day, Puerto Rico and stuff like that with the family. Like, we love, traveling with the family. And that's how it was kind of with us, man. We had a great time. But, you build chemistry like that during the offseason. But this is good. This offseason, because of all the rocky things that's been happening, all these different circumstances, situations, we need to have a much more quieter time, Marcus. It needs to be quiet. Yeah. We need to be bored going into this offseason right now. I want to be boring, okay?
From this point on, all I want to talk about is Mahomes and Kelce doing interviews talking about dynasties and then Rashee Rice workout videos. That's pretty much all I want to see from here on out. I don't want to hear any more about arrests, possession of marijuana, racing on the highway. I don't want to hear any about that stuff anymore. That stuff's done. Hopefully, Andy put it on the guys, like he said last week during OTAs. He put it on them pretty hard and like, hey guys, like, no, enough of that stuff. So hopefully that happened.
Leave it all alone. Go home. Have a good time, man. Be safe. No more controversy. Okay, we don't hear no more. All right, no more.
So we're getting. Usually we get Ravens, Bengals, or Buffalo Bills fans, and sometimes Raiders fans.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least after Christmas Day, we got some Raiders fans. Outside of that, we don't really hear from Raiders fans. But John, KC had a hell of a run, but the AFC now runs through Houston. There's a new sheriff in the league. D'Amico Ryans is a badass coach. I agree with. With offensive rookie year, CJ Stroud, defensive rookie of the year, Will Anderson. I like your guys in that team, but sorry, it doesn't run through Houston. So I mean, like it's
no, John, but them guys are contenders. They are contenders. They'll see us. We'll see each other toward the end of the season. Don't worry. And we're gonna see where they lay at right now. But at the moment, we understand everything comes through Kansas City. No doubt about it. That's it. Ain't no ifs, ands, or maybes. No questions. Kansas City is a place that everybody needs to be or wants to be. So all roads lead there to Arrowhead. Okay.
Yep.
So
I appreciate the chat here, buddy.
No doubt, man. Hey, listen, from Houston, hey, we'll celebrate you, man. They're a hell of a team. I'm a DeMarco fan. I like Stroud. I like everything they're doing down there in Houston. Matter of fact, they're playing some good ball. So my hat's off to them, man. They tell them to keep it going.
And you were a big Tank Dell truther too. So you were
Tank Dell
trained, but you were a Houston Cougar trained before you were a Houston Texan trained.
Yeah. I was like, man, we gotta get Tank Dell, but hey, he's down there. So
JD, we got some concerns here from some of our people here. So Lewis Cuthbert, defensive line is a major concern for him. They didn't do nothing to help Jones, but bring back Noddy and Pinnell. They didn't invest in it. That's something that you and I have been harping on. JD, are you concerned as Lewis is here?
I am. I'm concerned that we didn't address it like I thought we were going to do in the draft, and we just didn't. But I do have concern there. And my concern deals with when Chris Jones is out or something happens, do we have the firepower in there to keep to maintain what Chris Jones is given? That's the question. And so the guys that we have were up and down last year. They gave us some good looks every once in a while. But man, we needed to get a guy here, a absolute animal, a beast in here to come in and wreck some shop when Chris is out. And so I don't think we addressed it like we should have. Me saying I like the guys that we got. I like the guys that's in the room, right? These guys they give in everything that they got. And sometimes you're just looking for a little bit more. Sometimes we're just looking for that stud guy to be there all the time, being consistent. And I think we just weren't really consistent at that position outside of Chris Jones. So I agree with Lewis. I do agree with Lewis. And who's to say that we won't address this maybe come June 1st, Marcus? I don't know. But look, I'm not here to talk disparagingly about our guys. But I did feel that we needed to get better at the position. I thought we should have. leveled up.
We thought you and I were both on the same train during the draft when we were going for our second or third DB that we drafted. It's like, okay, there's still some DT talent out there, and we just didn't do it. So we'll see what happens with that. I don't think they're gonna. I think they've already brought back everybody on the D line, and I think with Lovett, the Florida State rookie, I think they're gonna see what he's got. They're gonna see what Bugs has, the guy we signed during the middle of the season last year.
Yeah.
And also Neil Farrell Jr. from the Raiders that we traded for around this time last year. So they're gonna kind of see what those guys have in them. And I think we're gonna kind of roll with what we have, a rotation of another guy next to Chris Jones. But I do think next year, if it's like meh, I think that is going to be one of our top two thing, especially if we re-sign Hollywood. What do we really need at that point? Obviously, we're going to need to re-sign some other guys. There's going to be other questions there, but as far as draft wise, I think you go best BPA DT next year in the next year's draft. But that's what I think it's going to happen. And also, Gary Holland, Felix. It was another guy where they said you could play him inside and outside. And we might have to see what he can do as far as with Charles Menahu out, if he can do a little inside and outside.
How do I feel about Felix? I think he'll definitely improve. He's been working with Tamba. That to me, there's no better place to go than being with Tamba Hali to work on your craft. He'll be better than any other coach, anybody else out there working. He's a jiu-jitsu type of guy, master, hard worker. I mean, he has a motor, but he is very patient. He's very detailed in what he's coaching to get the guys right. And we've seen Karlaftis, how he got better being with Tamba. Felix going to be he's going to take the same jump like Karlaftis did. So I do like that he's working with him. I think Felix is going to do well this year. I know the hybrid in and out, because we asked for it. Will he be able to do that still remains to be seen, to put it that way. But I do believe that he's going to get better, though, for sure. So
I'm going to give a shout out to our guy, John, our Houston Texan fan for the night. Give
yes,
you a like
sir.
and subscribe. I'd like to hear the back-to-back champs fan base is talking for the offseason. Andy's best offensive head coach in NFL history and Spag's top 5 defensive coordinator ever. Hey, we appreciate that, John. We appreciate it,
John. Absolutely, man. We love the back and forth sometimes. Sometimes it's in good fun. Good fun.
So, some fan bases take it a little too far. Hence the Ravens trolls. We had to give with the receipt video after that AFC Championship whooping.
Cameron Johnson in here. What's up, Cameron? Cameron came in. Donna, O-line is definitely concerning. Allegretti is gone. So Donna, is it concerning? Not as much. They're kind of far down on the list as far as concerning. I think the question is left tackle, who's going to start, how they're going to look. I think we start to get a little bit more look when you do this mini camp. When you get the mini camp, you start seeing, get a little pads on. Guys get to kind of mix it up a little bit. We'll see what all we actually got, and I would love to see it too. Training camp is a time that the guys are going to be able to grow. Little bump in the road, right, for Wanye. But do I think that our guy, big boy from BYU, is going to get some things done? I think he will. I think he's going to be all right. I can't wait to see that competition. Go ahead, Marcus.
Allegretti, I mean, as far as I think the only question mark we have on the O-line is the left tackle spot. And I think if they're fine, the fact that we haven't signed Donovan Smith yet, and I don't know, JD, let me ask you this. And we've signed Donovan Smith closer to training camp last year. Do you think, as of right now, do you think they like what they see in the in our guy Kingsley, where the fact they won't bring in Donovan Smith right now? Do you think they're set in their with that right now, or is there still a possibility they can bring back Donovan Smith?
Yeah, they like what they see right now. So Donovan is one of those guys that's always on their list. He's a guy they could call at any time. So they got good rapport with him, and I think that he's on the bat phone. Hey, listen, we're gonna need some help. He help you get these guys ready. And Donovan, I think he'd come here to be ready to deliver anytime we ask him to. Yeah. So, If he's not signed with another team, obviously. But yeah,
right. Yeah, I think the Allegretti being gone, he was a great depth piece, and I know he had a really instrumental run for us this past year when Tooney went down. I mean, Andy has been able to find guys, reserve guys who've filled in admirably. We ended up getting rid of Wiley. Wiley was a rotational piece. We ended up starting him at right tackle, and we lucked out on that. Yeah, we didn't miss a beat without him last year. I know Jawan had his struggles, but we didn't miss a beat without Wiley. And that was a guy we found like Allegretti, and now they're both going to be playing in Washington together. I think it's pretty funny. But yeah, Allegretti was great for us. I think Norzad is another Allegretti type who can play all over the offensive line, and I think he's going to fit in perfectly. He ended up might being a starter next year if we don't sign one of the guards or center that we have. So. I think we'll be fine with Allegretti. But the left tackle's the question mark for now.
You know what? Because they play O-line, we don't really hear a whole lot anyway. We always hear about the receivers, guys catching the football. We never talk about the guys that's in the, in the trenches as much, especially O-line. The guys that get all the pub is about it. But backup O-linemen, you don't really hear too much about those guys. They kind of sit back in the shadows, Marcus, and just go to work. Okay. And if they are doing a good job, the O-line they are okay with that. So addressing Duncan Pond, Brady yesterday made the point about Chiefs needed to have a strong O-line for Mahomes to take advantage of more receiving weapons. Sure, Andy knows that better than Brady. No, Brady's saying exactly, he has a great point. He has a great point. And so I think he's just speaking in general. It's like, hey, man, you need to have a good O-line to be effective. I don't care who it is. It could be me back there, Joe Montana, Patrick Mahomes, Dan Marino. I don't care, Peyton Manning, whoever you want to say is the best or one in the conversation. You have to have a solid offensive line to get things done back there and work. Other than that, doesn't even matter. I don't care how good you are. Yep. So
I was watching the interview because Brady it was earlier today. Brady was on Colin Cowherd's show, and they were talking about when you're a veteran guy. They were talking about Kirk Cousins going to Atlanta and why he chose Atlanta because they have a good O-line. And he was asking him, when you went to Tampa, like you chose Tampa because they already had a good O-line. And he was like, yeah, that was definitely that played a part in it because they were talking about how Rodgers. You went to the Jets, they didn't have an O-line, and now they have a patchwork of really older guys and then rookies, and it's like it's not a locked in thing. But Brady's point was it's not just an old guy veteran quarterback thing. It's when we played Tampa when the Bucs played Tampa with the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Chiefs had really patchwork O-line that game because they were injured throughout the year, and then after that is when the Chiefs made it a point to go have a good O-line around Patrick Mahomes, and that's the point he was making. It's not an old versus young quarterback thing. It's you need to have, regardless of how old your quarterback is, you need to have a good O-line around him.
Right. So, no, shoot, Brady knows what he's talking about. I mean, that's why the guy got 6 rings. So he understands that they had to protect him, and he get on him if they didn't protect him.
Yep.
You know what, a guy, man, I watched his 30 for 30, man, and I appreciated him, but maybe I didn't appreciate him like I should have. Let me put it this way. I had much more appreciation for him after seeing that.
Brady?
That's Dan Marino, quarterback-wise. And so I knew Dan Marino was good, but they would talk about, like, how fast his release was. Like, they just couldn't get back there to him. And they would say, like, Howie and Lau Alzado, Bruce Smith was talking about how they was that close from getting to him, but Marino already had the ball out. And when you hear him talk about just the way his perspective of how he's seen the game, making decisions, I was just in all of it. I was just in absolute all of it. My nephew loves Dan Marino. He believes he's the best quarterback ever. So my nephew, I mean, he knows ball. He knows ball. And I'm just like, look, I like Dan Marino. I love Dan Marino. But Dan Marino is kind of, is he top 5? I don't know. But watching that yesterday and the quarterbacks during that era talking about Dan Marino, it was like, geez, give you pause. Now, look, I knew he had the Marx brothers. I seen all the things he was able to do, but maybe because I wasn't in that market, I didn't get to see it all the time. That was a part of the problem. But
that was a famous draft where the Chiefs drafted a Todd Blackledge.
I think it was. It might have been that year. I think so.
It's the famous one that we passed on some good QBs to go get Todd Blackledge from Penn State.
Yeah. Well.
And Todd Blackledge was the last quarterback that we drafted who had a win before Patrick Mahomes, which is pretty crazy. Last Chiefs quarterback before Patrick Mahomes to have a win in a regular season game was
really drafted. Wow.
Brody never did it. And I think maybe Hewer, Trent Green, Thigpen wasn't drafted by us. Alex Smith wasn't drafted by us. I mean, Elvis Grbac wasn't drafted by. I mean, go down a list of the quarterbacks of the time. None of them were drafted by us, which is crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, the Chiefs chose Todd Blackledge over Dan Marino. So, yeah.
85 Bears only lost to Miami. Yeah, I didn't know that either. Go for KC forever. I didn't know. Yeah. So they came out that man, and Marino chopped him up. They said he absolutely decimated him. Just made it look terrible. And that was Ron Rivera was talking about it. How great he was. Man, I love seeing it. I love hearing those old stories and them talking about Dan Marino. But I love hearing players talk about other players on how good they are. Okay? That's always a good thing. It's always good to see it. Sometimes you don't and y'all let y'all talk about this tonight. And I don't know, it's not true for everyone. It's not true for all the younger guys. But I think sometimes what we're losing is respect for some of the players that played in the past, right? It's almost like they're oblivious to the guys that came before them, right? And I was talking with a guy the other day. He was over with my cousin. He was talking about how the guys of today are so much better than the basketball players from last year, or even the football players. And I'm looking at him like, what are you talking about? I said, man, have you ever heard Allen Iverson talking about if Jordan came in, he would average 50 points a game? Iverson himself said he would average 40, 45 points a game.
Oh, yeah.
Playing in this system in the NBA. So it's kind of like the same thing now when guys are sitting over here looking in the NFL and maybe like I said, it's not football. I think is a different animal because you just got to respect the game for what it is. I don't care how many balls you catch and stuff like that. You know, when it's a physical game out there and guys could take your head off, these jokers may not be catching the ball like that. Okay. And this kind of goes into, and let's always bring this up, right? So people can get on me all they want to, but because the league has been passing as much, that's why you're able to see the numbers go up like, that Kelce has, right? You got to take advantage of the time that you have offensively on things. Yeah. You have to. That's just the reality of it. Or it'd be a wide receiver. Like defenders talk about this all the time. Like, man, we can't get a break against these offensive weapons. Hey, I love it. I'm glad it's like it is what it is right now. But the defenders, they hate it. They hate talking about these things. They hate talking about it.
Yeah.
But does it take away from the greatness of Roger Staubach, right? Or who's another guy? Joe Namath. Okay. I know he had a pretty decent arm, but somebody's like, can he really play in this era? Well, shoot, when I'm looking at other guys of this era who could have played now and still torch guys up, shoot, you can't take nothing away from them. Okay. Wide receiver, running back, so.
And there's even guys who never even got a shot, like in their time. I'll give you one, a guy I named earlier, friend of our show, Tyler Thigpen. That offense that he ran, because and the way the offenses are now kind of going more towards that now. When they ran that pistol offense back in 2008, it was kind of like, whoa, what is this? What is this offense? This is weird. It's only a college thing. You don't see that in the NFL. Now you're seeing NFL teams take from college, which was kind of something that wasn't happening in the early 2000s. Like, oh, that's a college thing. That's never going to work in the NFL. But now you're seeing that more offenses incorporate that, like kind of that stuff in modern day NFL offenses. Pat White from West Virginia, I think he could have played now in these offenses now. Cordell Stewart probably be a perennial Pro Bowler in the offense now.
Yeah. Yeah. Slash. Oh, no doubt about it. So I'm gonna ask the chat in here, okay? I want everybody to give me your top 5 running backs of all time. Okay. No particular order, top 5. Okay. So I want Marcus. I'm asking you, give me your top 5 running backs of all time. All right.
Number 1, I'd go Marcus Allen.
Okay.
Yeah, big Marcus Allen fan.
All right.
I was an older brother Raiders fan. I used to see a lot of Marcus Allen highlights growing up. Number 2.
Now, it don't have to be in no particular order. So
No order? Okay.
No. It help you out a little bit.
Okay, I go Priest. Probably one of the most underrated running backs of all time. Clinton Portis, I put him up there.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Clinton.
Probably numbers wise, probably isn't a top 10 running back of all time.
Yeah.
Eric Dickerson, another guy that I watched a lot of highlights growing up, a lot of NFL film stuff of Eric Dickerson.
ED. Okay.
And Earl Campbell as well. Again, older brother, so I was constantly watching NFL films like stuff when I was younger. That's 4. Oh man.
That's 5.
That's 5?
Yeah.
Allen,
Marcus Allen, Priest, Clinton Portis, Eric Dickerson,
Campbell.
And Earl Campbell. That's your 5. Okay. All right. So
are you surprised by any of those? And do we overlap in any of them?
I am surprised. Very surprised about 2 of them. Priest and Clinton Portis. Okay. Running backs of all time. And I'm not talking about Chiefs, but it's running backs of all time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and it kind of goes into like the whole, there we go, Jim Brown, Sweetness, Walter Payton, Barry Sanders, man, Earl Campbell, Marcus Allen. Those are 5, right? So, Rick Henderson, Eric Dickerson, Walter Payton, Marcus Allen, 3. Okay. Rick, you got to give me 2 more, man. Ghost Hunter, Earl Campbell, Emmitt Smith, Marcus Allen, O.J. Simpson, John Riggins. Let's go to list. John Hunter, 1974. Cameron Johnson, Sanders, Payton, Campbell, Brown, Allen. That's a really good list, Cameron. Barry Sanders was a GOAT, no doubt about it. So I haven't heard anybody name
Gale Sayers.
Who?
Gale Sayers. No.
Not Gale Sayers. Adrian Peterson. AP.
Yeah, that's
does he fall in there? Sanders, Bettis have to be on there. Ooh, about time you got Bettis on there. But look, this is a list. This is y'all list, right? I'm just looking at everybody. This is y'all list, right? So Priest Holmes, Marcus Allen, Barry Sanders, Larry Johnson, Nigerian Nightmare, Louis Cutright. He came from more of the Chiefs right there.
Respect it.
Let's see.
Has anyone said Emmitt Smith? I don't know if I saw Emmitt Smith. Anyone say
somebody said Emmitt? Yeah, somebody said Emmitt. I think Bruce Bowman. Woo! OJ, Franco Harris, Walter Payton, Brown, and Sanders. Bruce. It's a good list. A lot of people missed OJ, right? Take away from all the things he did but on the field, what he was able to do. Franco Harris was another guy that everybody talked about. Was phenomenal. See Brown. See Bruce, you back in the era, brother. You up there with my brothers and them, man. They would probably say the same thing. Got Sanders and Brown. No Eric Dickerson on it, Bruce. Okay.
Who's your 5? You haven't said your 5 yet.
My 5. So here's my top 5 running backs of all time. Okay. Walter Payton, no particular order. Walter Payton, Barry Sanders, Jim Brown. I had to go with, man, maybe Gale Sayers. And if I'm looking, man, I might have to give. If he didn't get hurt, does that matter if he got hurt or not?
That doesn't matter. This is your list.
Bo Jackson. Bo never got hurt. I don't know how many people would be able to touch him.
Yeah.
So that's my 5, and my 5 changes every once in a while. AP's gonna have to be on there. He's close to it. He's gonna have to be close.
Yeah. He's 5th all time in rushing yards.
Who's that? AP?
AP, yeah.
Yeah. He's a bad boy.
Emmitt Walter Payton, Frank Gore, Barry Sanders, Adrian Peterson, and then Curtis Martin is number 6 all time. I didn't realize Frank Gore. I mean, obviously longevity. He played forever, so I didn't realize he was that high on that list.
Frank Gore was doing some work, man. He was doing some work. Heck of a running back. Emmitt was a beast. I like Emmitt Smith. People talk about the O-line, right? They kind of diminish maybe what he was able to do because of the O-line. Emmett is a very productive back. I think he's one of the top 10 running backs of all time.
Oh yeah,
he's definitely one of mine. So he's in there.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, if you ask people around here in the DC area, guess who would be maybe number 1 or number 2 all time for DC fans?
DC fans?
Yeah.
Oh, it got to be John Riggins. Got to be one.
Yeah. Because no one said his name yet. But if you ask people around here, Riggins.
Somebody said his name. Somebody said Riggins up there.
Someone said Riggins.
Yeah, somebody said Riggins. Somebody said Riggins.
Oh, yeah, people love Riggo around here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, also too. I mean, Marshall Faulk, we didn't say. Edgerrin James, we didn't say.
Marshall and Edgerrin, very, very good. Very good. Marshall, I think, to me, was probably more the could do it all guy.
Yeah.
He was a bad boy, man.
One of the first to do it all type of guys.
Yeah.
He was like one of the first modern age where they used the running back and the receiving game on top of the rushing game.
So John gave me your top 5 wide receivers of all time: Jerry Rice, Tim Brown, Lynn Swann, Stallworth, Randy Moss, Calvin Johnson, T.O., Michael Irvin, Andre Reed, Marvin Harrison, Torrey Holt, Julio Jones. You gave us 12 of them. Top 5. Top 5. I don't know. Marcus, I went to high school in MD and lived in VA for several years.
Hey, there you go.
See you, boy. About time. Okay.
Wait, we got the Nova crew in here, the Northern Virginia, baby.
Yeah. See, but everybody, like I give Jamal Charles some props too. Jamal Charles, bad boy. Bad boy. So there was some like we know what's his name? Johnson from Tennessee.
Chris Johnson.
Chris Johnson was a bad boy back there. We know Marshawn Lynch is a bad boy. There's a lot of great running backs. Priest, LaDainian Thomason. We man, there's a lot. Thurman Thomas. Some hell of some guys out there, man.
Oh yeah,
seriously.
Freddie T, another guy who doesn't get his due.
Freddie Tate, yeah, no doubt. So
that's good. Good conversation there, JD. I like this.
I like it. Top 5. That's what I wanted to see. And I think sometimes it's all about eras, right? What era were you in that you gave us a see? Derrick Henry. Okay. Derrick Henry's a bad boy. We know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tony Dorsett. That's funny. Yeah.
Last QB to wear number 1. Warren Moon in 2000.
Woo. That's a good one.
I'm guessing.
Was he the last one?
Oh no, well no, because Printers wore 7, right? Or did he wear 1?
I think so. Yeah, I think Prentice, was 7.
Yeah. Gosh, I don't know. He's Casey Printers.
John said start, bench, or cut. Andre Johnson, Fitzgerald, and Isaac Bruce. It's a good one.
I got it. It was
yeah,
one.
Mooney. Yeah, Mooney.
It's our bench cut. Who'd you go with that, JD? Who'd you start, bench, and cut between those 3?
Oh man, that's a good one. Daggone. I probably had to start.
That's a no lose right there.
I know it. Daggone. Start Fitzy, bench Isaac, cut Andre. That's a hard one right there, man. I don't even. Yeah, you could go with either one. It wouldn't even matter who you started bench and cut with these 3. So.
All right, everybody. Well, that was a nice little Memorial Day episode. Nice way to end it with our top 5s there, top 5 running backs of all time. You guys were amazing in the chat as always.
Yes.
And we hope you guys had a nice, great long weekend. And yeah, we'll see you guys on Wednesday night for our normal, regularly scheduled show at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
8 p.m. Listen, we're gonna have a guest on Wednesday, and what we'll do, we'll talk about it on Wednesday. We'll probably send it out on Twitter and let y'all know before then. If not, y'all see once y'all get here who's it going to be. So
I already know who the guest is.
yeah, we'll have a good one. It's going to be a good guest on our show. So
awesome.
We'll be ready. But hey, appreciate everybody for showing up tonight. Thank you all coming in, engaging with us, talking football like we always like talking. Man, I love you all. I love you all. It's to me is the best show ever because we get to interact with you all. Appreciate every one of you, Donna, Kathy, Andrea, John, Go Forever, KC, Cameron, T for 65, About Time, Cameron Johnson, Vegas, Chiefs Kingdom. Who else we miss? Bruce, you still out there, brother? Love you. Miss you, man. Good seeing you. Go Forever, KC, Lewis, About Time, Ricky Henderson, Gary. I don't know, man. I've been naming a whole lot of different people, man. Hey, if I get to name you, man, you know who you are, man. We love you. Great celebrating the Memorial weekend to everybody. Just paying homage and remembrance for all the people that came before us, all the people that put their lives on the line for us to have these conversations, share these things with each other, man. Y'all be well. Y'all take care. Duncan Pound, everybody else too. Y'all be good. Love y'all. Marcus, love you, brother. Okay.
Love you,
Y'all enjoy
brother.
yourself. I'm going to go cook some more food.
There you go. There you go. Well, everybody has a good week, and we'll see you guys Wednesday night. Good night, everybody. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.